Hello guys, this is Mecowhy on Mecowhy YouTube channel, and today we're doing a quick review of electric vehicle. I actually have this vehicle for just one day, so I didn't have too much time to really play with it before I started recording this video. I put maybe 30 miles on it so far, but I thought I would share it. So we are inside of BMW i3. This is an electric vehicle with a really short range, but basically the car fully charged has about 65 miles range, which is not anywhere near perfect from my perspective. I would need to charge this car if I had to own it at work, at home. This is the first time I'm actually driving electric vehicle for more than just 1 mile. So I think that gave me a pretty good idea where we are heading, because that's the future. I love combustion engines, probably you do, but that's where we are heading. Right now, out of all of the vehicles sold in the United States, about 1% are electric vehicles. That ratio will change, and definitely I can see us, somewhere at 25 to 50% in a few years down the road. Is this a permanent solution? In my belief, it is not. We need a more green solution than electric vehicle. If you think about it, we are using a whole bunch of energy and chemicals to build the batteries. There is some questions about how those batteries are being recycled. There's a lot of dirty electricity out there. There's a very, very small percentage of green electricity. So there's a lot of change that's needed. Anyway, this is a fairly new BMW i3 with only 14,000 miles on it. And it drives really nice, even though the tires are about this narrow, and I'll show you guys in a moment. I think the car drives nice. I really like the instant acceleration. I mean, it is quiet. You don't hear anything, just a little bit of whiz from the engine. Just pretty much like driving a spaceship in a way. This is not the most powerful electric vehicle yet. This is not even close to Tesla. This has about 200 foot-pound of torque and a little bit under 200 horsepower. So this is, not even close. But given that this is a very light, small vehicle, you can actually feel the acceleration and the torque. And also, because this is electric vehicle and the power is instant without, any transmission, any drivetrain in place, you actually feel this power much better than in any other car, especially when punching it, going already like 20 miles per hour. I'm not talking about from start, but from 20 you just punch it and it gets to 45 really quickly. Okay, so let me show you the car. The steering wheel actually looks pretty cool. I like the white leather, very sporty design. You have this electrified blue that adds a little bit to the car. It's pretty funny how the display works. This is very simple. The front one is very simple, yet contains a lot of information. The main screen, infotainment, it's very confusing. A lot of options. I guess I'm just getting old, but there's a lot of options, and I already had some problems where it was giving me no signal error. So I could turn on the radio right here, and within 2 minutes it would give me no signal and it would pretty much disappear. So very similar to my experience with Tesla 3 system crashing on me. The design is very simplistic. You know, at first I really didn't like this plastic. You can see all the fibers. I think it's supposed to remind you that this is, I think, a recycled plastic. So you're supposed to see all the fibers from the recycled plastic. Let me zoom. Not sure how well you can see it, but you can see all those fibers. It's very Spartan, very simple. If you look at the seat, I mean, it's extremely thin. I mean, compared to, you know, how thick some chairs are nowadays. Yet it's very comfortable. You know, I drove the car for an hour. I don't complain. It was very comfortable. In the back, there's enough seating for kids. I was driving with my kids, and there's enough space for my kids. Of course, behind me, I'm 6'3". That was a challenge. You know what's really cool is this shifter. It's kind of futuristic and cool. So this is pretty much how you start the vehicle. You hold the button and you get a whole bunch of information on your dashboard, as well as the navigation turns on correctly this time. And yeah, the car is on. Let me turn off the AC. Okay, you see this blue light. I didn't notice it was daylight. Now it's getting a little bit darker, so you can see this blue light around the start stop. You just put it in drive like so, and all you do we are driving. This is really bizarre. I really like the feel that you get when driving an electric car. It's basically just quiet. Psst. So you can hear all the road noises and stuff. Once you park, just stays there. You know, you can push the accelerator, and it's just like with Tesla. It starts the regen right away and it stops. So put it in park. We just press here and the car goes into park. So like I said, the interior is very Spartan. It's very simple. Yet enough, you know, this is a car that one would be driving for just daily driving to work back and forth. So I don't think you need much more. Okay, let's turn it off. Let's see what's under the hood. That's I think that's the AC system, to be honest with you. I don't know what else that could be. So this is the trunk, tiny, just for your groceries. So now look at those tires. This is narrow. What's the size? The size is, where does it say? 155 70 R19. Those are some narrow tires. I mean, I can grab the tire like this, and it's the same in the front. I guess it's all for the efficiency. So it's bizarre how it opens.
I'm used to pulling the handle like this. It actually opens like this. And for such a small car, you can see the rubber damaged here already, only after 14,000 miles. The floor is really high, and if you're not aware, you know, people keep on kicking it, and I hit it a few times already. Here's that there is no frame on the back door either. It's only glass. Okay, let's drive. So as you can see, this is traffic hours. Driving in the middle of the, I think, highest peak, and we have a construction going on as well. So anyway, what is pretty cool about the BMW i3 is that pretty much I put a cruise control on it, and all I have to do is steer. Basically the vehicle keeps distance from the vehicle in front of me and comes to a complete stop, and then when the distance increases, it accelerates. So as you can see, I have no foot on any of the pedals, and here we're even coming to a little bit stronger stop. It brakes. It's just a bizarre situation. What we are going to do now is I'm going to accelerate. So a little bit.
Maya, you're in the camera. You gotta look up. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay.
How does it feel?
It feels crazy.
What's so different about it?
It's like there's no sound. I don't hear the engine. I was in the middle. So like when you drive super fast, your head goes back, and I'm not comfortable with that.
So another cool thing about this car is actually the interior lights. So at night, if you come up to the car and press either lock or unlock button on the remote, the interior of the car glows blue, which is pretty cool. And as you can see on the dashboard, it actually shows when the car will charge. So I'm charging it with a standard 120 volt charger, which is stage 1 or level 1 charger. And the car is currently at about, let's see if we can zoom, it's about 30 miles left on the range, and it will be charging until 5:49 a.m. to get it to 62 miles. So it will be charging, right now it's 8:30 p.m. so it will be charging for 9 hours, close to 10 hours, to basically get it full 30 miles. So if you have electric vehicle, you definitely don't want to charge using 120 volts outlet. You definitely want a charger that can get you at least to a level 2. And again, at level 2, the charging speeds vary depending on your available amperage, but level 1, it's just too slow. If I pull back home around 10-11 o'clock, I would not have full charge to go to work. From my perspective, I think that's where we go. This is where we're heading. This is our new future. pretty much all car manufacturers are working on long-range electric vehicles. We already know about Tesla, Jaguar, Audi, BMW, Mercedes-Benz. They all announced electric vehicles coming up in the next couple of years. We know of GM and their Bolt, which is already being sold. We know Ford is planning something in a couple of years. You know, there are additional vehicles coming from Chrysler, from GM. So we have Kia, we have Hyundai. They all already announced electric vehicles this year. So this is where we are heading, and it's getting more and more affordable. You have $7,500 of federal credit when you buy one of those vehicles. You also may have some local incentives depending what state and city you're in. Charging is less expensive, at least right now, than gas. Here in Metro Detroit, you can actually get a separate meter installed at your home for electric vehicle and have a flat fee. I think it's $42 a month for charging your electric vehicle. This is my weekly gas bill. So yeah, if I can drive a car for a month for what I pay for my gas, I mean, this is you know, $150 savings for me just by switching. Of course, you know, I always drive used cars, so from my perspective, doesn't make sense to buy one of those used. How reliable they are, you know, what happens to the batteries after 5 years, how the previous owners actually used the vehicle, you know, what's the state of the battery. Those are all the questions that, you know, come to mind. Also, reliability of those electric motors. I mean, you cannot fix them. You just have to replace the entire electric motor, the drivetrain. So there's a lot of questions, a lot of education that is needed for me and for all of us to really understand, you know, where we want to go. Is the next option, you know, what they are talking about, just using the vehicle, which means you don't own it, you use it, you not even lease it, you just rent the car, and you know, every few months you get a replacement and just keep on paying subscription fees for the ability to drive. And you know, maybe you share the vehicle with somebody else when you don't drive it to work. I don't know, you know, those are all the options. And when I drive a car like this, those are all the questions that are coming to my mind. So this is the future. This is where we are heading. I think this is a really cool car. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up, and peace out.